Hello there, everyone. You know who I am, Easy Templar, alien crusader from beyond the heavens, here to entertain and destroy through the power of me magic. And because we already have a movie poster, this is a review and suggestion for a movie. So when I was a kid, I rented this movie from a local movie store, or a movie rental place, and I love this movie. For whatever reason, I saw this again when I was 11 years old, and it just stuck with me. And Dylan McDermott in this movie, he single-handedly saves this movie as he plays Leandra H. McNeely. So if you don't know, the real story of Leandra H. McNeely, he's originally this pastor out in Virginia. And then the Civil War breaks out, he joins up and fights with the Confederacy. And then after the war, he moves to Texas because he has tuberculosis. I think that's what it is. The lung disease, the old-timey lung disease. So he moves out to Texas in hopes that the human climate will cure him, but it's too late. So the very real Leander H. McNeely joins up with the Texas Rangers, becomes a captain, and at this time Texas is going through some very harsh times with Mexican banditos and some enterprising Texans that want to pillage, loot, and rob and rape and do whatever. Well, at this point, the Texas Rangers are kind of like, they played by the rules, they tried doing warrants, and they just got to the point where, fuck it, we're going to wipe these guys out till they're not a problem anymore. And this movie kind of follows that. It also adds the fictional character about Mr. Gunnarsson, which in this movie he kind of plays the new consciousness to the Texas Rangers. You see him do some things that kind of adds a more modern approach to the Texas Rangers. His story is him and his family move out to Texas to become ranchers. They're actually trying to buy cattle at the time. That's when the bad guy, King Fisher, shows up and just steals the cattle and kills his family. So he joins up with the Rangers as a revenge tale, and then from there, he becomes the secretary to Leandra H. McNeely, and from there, it's just a good-ass action movie, a good action film. And this movie also has Vanderbeek from Dawson's Creek. And unfortunately, the one bad thing the one bad thing about this movie is it has Ashton Kutcher, and his acting in this movie and as a character is just, oh my god, he's annoying. And it's in the time of his acting career where he thought he was funny and a good actor, and it was just when he just started. So he's terrible in this movie. And Vanderbeek hasn't always been a good actor, but he does a mediocre job in this movie portraying his character, and he does come off as believable. But again, Dylan McDermott, him playing the pastor veteran turned Texas Ranger, he does such a good job, and it saves this movie. And why this movie stuck so much with me is because there's two things, and I'm going to show these two clips from this movie. Trigger warning, and just heads up, you're about to see some bandits get their necks stretched. And so yeah, I'll get back to you after that.
These bandits went down shooting. Surrender never crossed their minds. Their rules, not mine. But I'll play by them. We're Rangers, man. We got right on our side.
Until the wicked are dead, and the meek shall inherit the earth.
Are we the meek?
The meek will inherit the earth, Mr. Dennison. Someone's got to go and get it ready for him. There are bodies to be buried. Bury him.
And Dylan McDermott's, how he just plays that scene, he says it with such conviction and such zeal and hatred for the wicked that, I know, for me, I believe his character. And this movie, to me, is just not only a guilty pleasure, but it's one of the movies I grew up watching, and even after so many years that have gone by, I've seen this movie again on Netflix. It's like, man, I love this stupid movie. And to be fair, it's kind of a terrible movie. It didn't do so well in the theaters. But if you're looking for an entertaining Western movie about Texas Rangers carrying out partisan vigilante justice against criminal scum raping and rampaging their way across Texas, you're going to love this freaking movie. And in fact, if you're just a Texan of any caliber, you're going to like this movie, I think. And yeah, this movie has a special place in my heart. I love the hell out of this movie. And if you see this on Blu-ray somewhere, or if you catch it on Netflix, or rent it on YouTube or Amazon, it's good cheese. It's around 2001, and it was in a time where movies weren't afraid to be movies. They weren't afraid to tell a story. And yes, this movie does kind of romanticize the Texas Rangers a bit, and that I am totally fine with in my book. Now, the one thing I will address here, there's people who look at the Texas Rangers as villains for some reason. There's people, armchair professors and the college types, who I'm talking about will go, the Rangers not only bended the law, they broke it. It's like, you know what? This was in an era where partisan, violence was still a thing post, American Civil War. I think it was, 1870s to even to 1880s. You had these group of vigilantes in Missouri called the Bald Knobbers. Yes, they called themselves the Bald Knobbers. They wore these, hoods with little horns, and they're fucking terrifying. If you look at pictures of these guys, I mean, if you were a degenerate bad guy, and you came across these guys, they're terrifying. But there's also, skirmishes between the Bald Knobbers and the anti-Bald Knobbers. There's a point where a policeman and a bounty hunter got caught in a crossfire. It's a very interesting story. So, to get back on track, that's just the setting of the era. And people will look back on, the Wild West days, and with 2020 historical hindsight, they didn't even have Miranda rights, and they didn't, blah, blah, blah. It's that was just how shit rolled. And unfortunately, society has gotten too weak and too... Well, anyways, I'll stow that opinion because people aren't going to like it. This movie is a damn fine movie. Love it. I suggest it. It's just grade A, just bad movie cheese. And even if you're not a fan of, historical romanticism, there's something here for everyone. It's just a good, fun, dumb movie. And with that, I'll end this video. Drop a like, drop a dislike, comment your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. And stay happy, stay healthy, and I will see you guys next time. God bless. And again, thanks for watching.
Patriotism is dead. There's only rebels and tyrants now.
A world ready for the righteous and the pure to inherit.
Don't believe in surrenders. No, I still got my saber, Reverend. Didn't turn it into no plowshare either.
I'm taking over this territory.